Beshalach, which means when we say Parshas Beshalach, we mean it's Shabbos Shira. Besides Shabbos Shira this week, also it's a very special day this Shabbos, Shabbos to Bshvat. So we have a lot wrapped up in this Shabbos. So let's get started. However, before we actually get into this week's Nesivos Shalom Shira, I want to just mention that tonight's Shir is the Ilu Nishmas, the founder of this Shir's father, Yosef Motherpearl, who started this Shir now. We're in our 8th year, so over 7 years ago. And tonight is the first yahrzeit of Yosef's father, Reb Menachem Mendel ben Reb Moshe Yechiel, Olav Shalom. And may this Shir be a schus for his neshama. So the Medrash tells us, in this week's parsha, the Medrash tells us in Shemois Rabbah Chav Gimel something very, very interesting. Miyoim shebora HaKadosh Baruch Hu es ha'olam. From the day that Hashem created the world, the Ad she'amdu Yisrael al hayom, from the day of creation until the day that Klal Yisrael was standing at the Yam Suf, lo motzinu adam she'omar shira lahakadosh Baruch Hu elo Yisrael. We do not find that anybody throughout history, from the time of creation up until now, this week, what we're discussing, Shiras Hayam, we do not find another person that said Shira or sang Shira to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And the Medrash tells us that Adam HaRishon was created, and we don't find that Adam HaRishon said Shira. Avraham Avinu was saved from the Kibshan Ha'esh. He was saved from the kings, from the Malachim, and we don't find that Avraham Avinu sang Shira. Yitzchak Avinu, we know, was saved from the knife of the Akedah. Yaakov Avinu from the Malach of Esav, and etc., etc. And we go through the Shvatim. However, we do not find anywhere that Shira, that there was Shira at that point. However, now, at the time of Kriyas Yam Suf, when Klal Yisrael came to the Yam Suf and the Yam Suf split, then they said Shira. And that is why the Pasuk tells us, Oz Yashir Moshe. In other words, there were many opportunities and many other times where I would think maybe there would have been Shira. But now, Oz Yashir Moshe. At that point, that is when we broke out in song. And Hashem said, says the Medrash, exactly that Shira, that singing is exactly Kaviyachal. Hashem is saying what I have been waiting for. So too, there's a Gemara, Masechta Sanhedrin, Daf Tzadik Aleph on the Beis. The Gemara tells us, Kol ha'omer Shira b'chol yoim. Anyone, a person who says Shira every day, Zoicha v'omer l'olam haba. Somebody who sings Shira to HaKadosh Baruch Hu every day, so he will be Zoicha, that person will be Zoicha to sing Shira also in l'olam haba. Tremendous madrega. So too we find that by Chizkiyahu HaMelech, Chazal tell us that Chizkiyahu HaMelech could have been Mashiach. Had Chizkiyahu sang Shira at the destruction when Sancherib was defeated, Chizkiyahu HaMelech could have been Mashiach. But because he did not sing Shira at that point, he lost that opportunity. So really, we just mentioned a whole bunch of different things about song, about Shira. How do we understand this great place that Shira takes and holds? How do we understand how we come to Shira, when we do Shira, why we do Shira, why Shira means so much to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and what exactly does it mean to do Shira? Shira, as we're talking about it, doesn't mean just to get together and start jamming and start singing things that may not have anything to do with serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So too, we know, the Zohar tells us that when the Pasuk says, Vayoimru Leimor, the Zohar says that it's telling us that that song rings out L'Dorei Dorim. Leimor means that it's a message to us for all future Doros, for the coming generations. Again, how do we put this all together? So, we know that we mentioned who did do Shira. So, Taka, why is it that the Avos or Chizkiyahu HaMelech did not do Shira? Okay, we mentioned that they did not do it, but why not? If it's such a way of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if it's something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu was waiting for and he loved, why didn't the Avos of Chizkiyahu HaMelech sing Shira? Also, it would seem that the Bnei Yisrael did say some kind of Shira. Why are we saying that there was never Shira until Shira Sayam? We know that there was some kind of Shira when they left Mitzrayim also. We said, Kelel is Kadesh Chag, right? That we say that there was some kind of Shira. Hashir Yelochem, Kelel is Kadesh Chag. In other words, that they did sing some kind of Shira. Maybe not as blatant, maybe not as much as it was with Kriyas Yamsuf, but actually there was some sort of Shira on the night of Pesach when they did leave Mitzrayim. So why are we saying, on the other hand, we asked why it wasn't, now we're saying why are we saying that there wasn't? There really was some kind of Shira. And what is this Oz Yashir if there was some kind of Shira when they left Mitzrayim? So too, we know famously, Chazal tell us that Adam HaRishon, after Adam HaRishon did the Chet of eating from the Eitz Hadas, so Adam HaRishon, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave Adam HaRishon the news on Shabbos that Adam HaRishon would have a kapara, Chazal tell us that Adam HaRishon right away sang Mizmor Shir L'Yoim HaShabbos. So again, we asked why Adam HaRishon didn't. We see that there was some kind of Shira. So we're a little bit confused. What is Shira? Why are we saying that nobody did Shira? And if we're saying that nobody did Shira, what is so great about the Shira that they did now? So we really need a lot of explanation about this song. So the Nesivos Shalom explains that there are different types of Shira. And that's the way really to answer all the questions that we have up until this point. Nesivos Shalom says that there are different types of Shira. Firstly, there's a Shira of the mind, where a person understands that Hashem did something, He did a great chesed for you. When a person understands that Hashem did something very good for them, so in their mind, they're happy. In their mind, your mind is ready to sing. The next level of Shira, there's also a Shiras Halev, that not only in your mind, it's not only intellectual, but your heart feels, your leiv feels good about something that HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for you, so your heart sings out. And then there is the highest level of Shira, and that, it says in Nesivos Shalom, is called Shira Sa'evarim, where we say your entire being feels the appreciation for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That Hashem is a toiv and meitiv. Hashem is doing good for you, and that Hashem always does good for you, and your entire being breaks out in song, like we say, Kol atmoisoi toimarna Hashem yikamach, where all your bones, all your limbs, every part of your body is singing out and saying to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, thank you, I appreciate, you've done something so great for me. So, when we say that Chazal said that Adam HaRishon did not say Shira, when Chazal say that somebody did not say Shira, it wasn't actually that they never ever said Shira or there wasn't Shira. What it was a Shira of the mind or a Shira of the heart, a Shira where you understood or you felt, but it didn't exactly overtake your entire being. The appreciation and the noticing of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does for you, it didn't take that over completely. But when they came to Kriyas Yamsuf, then Klal Yisrael finally reached the level of Kol Atzmoisoi Toimarna. And that is why it was then, Oz Yashir, now you understand. Your entire being, your entire body understands just how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the chesed that He does for you every single day, kol atzmoisei tomarna, it overtakes you. Not just I understand and I a little bit appreciate. My heart feels, so we feel good about it. We might even say a good word about it. No, the entire being of a person now appreciates. And the reason that it did happen at Kriyas Yamsuf, the reason that they did sing Shira, is because it was at that point, just at Kriyas Yamsuf, where they realized that everything, because they had a history now to look back, what was different about the Shira Kriyas Yamsuf? Why did it happen just by Kriyas Yamsuf and not before? Why wasn't it a complete Shira when they left Mitzrayim? It is now at Kriyas Yamsuf where they realized that everything that happened to them up until this point, everything that they perceived that may have been not so good, everything that they thought might not have been good for them, now they're seeing that everything was for the best. And that's why it happened at Kriyas Yamsuf. It's at Kriyas Yamsuf where they realized that the entire Golus Mitzrayim and everything that happened to them in Mitzrayim was for the purpose of getting to this point. And it cleansed them. Everything that they thought wasn't good for them, cleansed them, that they should be zoicha to get to this moment, to get to this point. So until now, it was just a partial Shira. Now, it was the whole Shira. Nesivos Shalom brings from the Akta Rav, Zechus Yogan Aleinu, that the purpose of a Yid, the purpose of a Jew, is to reach the point where you are totally happy with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Where you know that everything that happens to you, whether you realize it right now or not, is always, always for the best. And that is what Hashem is waiting for. That is why the Medrash tells us that Hashem was waiting. I'm so happy that now it happened. Hashem was waiting for this because Hashem sees that now you realize that everything, every point, everything that Hashem does for you is for the good. So the Maimer Chazal, which we mentioned, Kol ha'omer shira ba'olam hazeh b'chol yoim zoicha ba'olam haba. The main point of this verse, says the Nesivos Shalom, the main point of this Maimer Chazal is b'chol yoim. If a person just sings when it's convenient or when you think that you realize a person just sings once in a while, you're not the person that's realizing what HaKadosh Baruch Hu does for you. B'chol yoim means when it's up and when it's down, and when it's light and when it's dark, and when times are great for you and when times are not so good for you. Kol ha'omer shira b'chol yoim, a person who realizes that no matter what is happening to you in your life, and no matter whether it feels like it's good or it's negative, it's positive, it's not, it says, we always realize the first thing, it must be good, because Hashem knows what's good for me. Hashem is a toiv u'meitiv. Kol ha'omer shira b'chol yoim. And it doesn't matter what exactly is happening. So when Adam Harishon said Mizmor Shira Yom HaShabbos, it was just a Shira then about Shabbos. Adam Harishon did not really understand yet at that point that everything that happened to him in the past was also for the good. And that is this week's parsha. And that is the lesson of this week's parsha. We need to learn to appreciate everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does for us. We need to learn to appreciate everything that happened to us in the past, whether we realize or not. And that is really the message also of Tu Bshvat, where we renew again and we realize, appreciate what we had to eat from the last year, what the fruit that we had, what we did have from last year, and we appreciate that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to make it happen for us again in Mitzvah Hashem. And let's learn the lessons of Shabbos Shira. Let us learn what song really is, and let us sing a complete song to HaKadosh Baruch Hu.